Ireland. Okay, you ready?
It's
It says
prepared.
okay. It says we're live streaming.
Trying, it's connecting. Don't worry, we're getting it.
I hit a button.
What buttons you hit?
It says we're live. It's okay. It says we're live streaming.
There you go. I got it's connected. Don't worry. What in the world?
I hit a button.
What buttons you hit?
Well, this is entertaining.
You don't have any idea. Go ahead. Lead off here.
You're the one that kicks the show off.
All right. Welcome everybody to the Bald Guy and the Fat Boy podcast. I'm the bald guy, joined by my buddy, the Fat Boy.
Roll Tide.
And we're trying to get into this live stream, but apparently I've got a playback while we're still going.
Yeah, you had that last time, and of
Did
course
we
it bothered.
really?
Um,
Okay. I paused it. We'll see what happens.
uh,
Anyway,
so I mean, I love all this professionalism we got going on around here.
hey, if it was professional, it wouldn't be us.
There you go.
So, so I guess building on last week's episode, is there any other teams that you want to turncoat on? Or are you thinking about maybe becoming a Spurs fan, or uh maybe the Astros, or what's going on?
All I said was I can't stand the direction the Cowboys are going with the Dak. So therefore,
Hey,
until there's some resolving, and let me tell you what some resolving would be.
what would it be?
One thing that might be surprising to you, one of the resolvements might be them signing. If they sign him to a multi-year $60 million deal, a year deal, then I'll probably progressively. I mean, hop back over because I can't stay without the Cowboys that long. I mean, I don't have any say in the direction the team is going. I
Right.
have no, I have no say. But all I do have is my eyes and my pride. And my eyes and my pride tell me that Dak sucks. And until I'm convinced that he doesn't, that's the narrative I'm putting into the atmosphere.
I don't understand how your pride tells you that Dak sucks.
My pride comes into account when we lose in San Francisco and get blowed out at home by Green Bay. That's where my pride comes into this. I mean, I would really. I don't like to lose. I mean, I don't know anybody likes to lose, but I really. And yes, I'm one of them guys, one of them fans, fanatics, whatever you want to call it. That when I love a team, it's I and we. Just like I'm
I we.
just like I'm on a part of the team. So therefore, if people don't like that, they don't have to watch. But that's just the way I am about these things. I'm passionate. And what I'm passionate about right now is Dak Prescott stinks. I know
You're
that,
passionate about Dak Prescott not being a Cowboy. That's where you're at.
well, but I don't have a lot of say in that. So if he becomes a long-term Cowboy again, then I'll have to reevaluate. But that's just I'm hoping that doesn't happen.
Well, so what
But in
happens
the
if they
meantime,
don't? What happens if they don't sign him? He doesn't get a deal. They let him play out this last year, and then they let him hit the open market.
you're gonna find out what I already know.
Uh huh.
That people around the league aren't and as in love with him as everybody thinks they are.
He's gonna set a record breaking deal when he signs somewhere else.
Okay, and that's your opinion, and you're entitled to it. I just don't have that opinion. If that's what happens, more power to him.
There are a
I
lot of teams out there that would love to have had Dak for the last 5, 6, 7 years.
Yeah. Well, if they had him, what would that have given them? Is my only question.
Quite a bit. Maybe not sucking as bad as they did.
I would rather, I would rather suck. I'd rather suck and
No,
win.
just stop. Just stop.
I
We're
just
just gonna,
can't
we're
stand.
just gonna clip it. We're just gonna clip that right there. That's it. Yeah.
You're so funny. You're
So
so funny. Let me. So I'm. in the meantime, while
I've
I'm
let
trying
the
to
fat
figure
boy
out
speak.
what I want to say about this and what I'm doing, I'm waiting on the Cowboys to do something. I mean, they've
Not
done
doing
nothing.
anything. They didn't sign CD. They
Nope.
didn't. They didn't extend Dak. They're not doing nothing. That's their whole plan. I think. I really believe Jerry Jones is scared of what's going to happen to the salary cap, depending on the lawsuit that's going on right now.
I thought they settled that.
Well, they lost it and then they appealed it and now they've won it. But I think they all kind of know it's probably going to come back up. What this
Oh,
reminds me of a little bit is Cuban after the Mavericks won their title and he was decided he was going to outsmart all the salary and all the other owners and he broke up his championship team. This is what that reminds me of right here because it's like, look, you're pretty close. You just need a little bit to get there, and you're fixing to have to lose it all, which I understand for everybody to get paid what they need to get paid. That takes up a bunch of the salary for the team.
yeah. So
Because
I don't.
I think
Oh,
you could very easily have you'd have the three highest paid people at their position on your team if you paid Dak, CD, and Micah. And I think it's hard to build out a roster around those.
okay. Here's what I mean under that criteria. I'd pay CD and I would pay Micah. But what I
Uh-huh.
would do is I would let Prescott play off this year, and then go and then see what we had going into next year, which we're about to see him in the preseason games with that number one pick we got over there on the bench. If he stinks, which he very well could, I'm not saying I've got any stock bought
I
in him.
don't I don't know if your number one pick can beat out Cooper Rush.
Well, if he can't, he can't. But my point is, well,
How about that though? What if we do that? What if we just roll with Cooper Rush? Would you be a bigger fan of that?
well, until he proves to me that he is the second heir apparent to Dak, then he can't win when it comes down to crunch time. I'll be with him until that, because that's my problem with Dak. That's a lot of people's problem with Dak, other than you stat people.
I
You
know.
stat
Crazy stats.
you stat people. Look at how good he is on paper and how good his stats are and everything. But then when it comes down to the crunch time, when it comes down to the nut cutting,
Uh-huh.
he falls like a cheap lawn chair, and then you have selective amnesia.
No, no. We don't have selective amnesia. You just try to put a whole bunch of other people's failures all on Dak.
As many times as I've said this, and many times as you just shake your head that you don't agree with it, it starts and stops with the quarterback.
Well, it should
It,
start and stop with the
the,
head coach.
the defense can give up 1,000 yards, but the quarterback's in the NFL. The quarterback's still going to take the blame for the loss because he drives the boat. Sorry, you don't like it, but it's the way of the world.
So why do you hate Dak for just being the one that gets the blame?
I hate Dak for what I see with my eyes. The fact that when he gets in the big game, he folds like a cheap lawn chair.
Okay. Anyway,
Okay,
enough
you
of that. Let's talk about
don't,
something good.
don't let me when you start the conversation.
Well, I mean, I was just trying to touch base and see where you were on abandoning your teams,
Dude,
and somehow that
you
turned
were
into
you were trying to insult my integrity by asking me if I jumped in any other bandwagons and all that BS. All you're trying to do is impugn my integrity, and I won't stand for it.
I know your integrity is way too upstanding.
I mean, to tell you,
We're gonna look up, and your hat rack behind you is gonna have Rockets and Astros and Spurs and everything else around there, man. That's
you
just
know,
what's coming.
you know, people like you are just are exactly like people like you are.
Yep, that's
So, so
okay.
what I
Hey,
wanted to
y'all don't get that kind of knowledge bomb dropped on you on a
right.
bunch of these other podcasts, but around here, we stand on that
So,
kind of stuff.
so what I wanted to talk about and keep the mood uplifting and and about America
Huh?
was I have been enveloped. in these Olympic games. I've
All
been going.
right.
I've been going to bed at 6 and 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and waking up at 6 o'clock in the evening so I can stay up and watch the Olympics live. I've been starting every morning at 3 o'clock, going down through the events I can stand. Like there's a bunch of them I can't, but the ones I can, I really enjoy.
Okay.
Like all the track stuff and the swimming. Don't like water polo. Well, I just can't stand cruelty to horses. So it just, it just is what it is. But what I wanted to start off today's conversation with is until you bombarded trying to impugn my integrity was I wanted to start off with last week's men's golf tournament at Golf National there in Paris, where Scotty Scheffler showed you once and for all why he's a great American, why he's the number one player in the world, and everything. And you know what's even better about that? That man's Longhorn. I still really like him.
Yeah, I know.
So that really shows you right there how much growing I've done. So all I want to say about that was when you saw Scotty coming, he was he was 9 shots back going into the final day, and he tore it up.
Well, he finished with like 6 birdies or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a masterpiece. They were in a country where there's masterpieces over there in the Louvre, and Scotty Scheffler could hang his performance in the Olympic golf right there in the Louvre with the rest of them.
Okay. Now you're talking about Scotty. Best Olympic performance by American athlete so far. Where would you put that?
But if it's a very
Because you've watched a lot. So out of
what,
all of
what,
them,
let me put a codicil on that.
mm-hmm.
I've got a 1A, and a 1B.
Okay.
Simone Biles, Katie Ledecky, Scotty Scheffler.
Okay.
And then I got a whole bunch of real close twos. So it's from the medal counts up for the United States. The gold medals are up for the United States. The excitement's up for the United States. And guess what, Charlie?
What?
In 4 years, I'll make this easy on you. Where's the next Olympics at?
It's in LA, isn't it?
It is in America. So with it being in America, there's a lot of people that've got to make decisions, and I think those decisions were to either be done at Paris or to keep going. I think because of what the Americans have seen in France with all this French support and all this stuff, I got a really honest to God belief that there's going to be some people that we thought were going to give it up, lay it down after Paris that are going to come back in 4 years and do it one more time just so they can do it in America.
You think?
It's an opinion. I'm allowed to it, whether you like it or not. And I like my opinion. My wife likes my opinion. So that's just the way we are. I think Katie Ledecky was very. Mike Tirico asked her if she was done, and she couldn't say she was officially done because that was one of her comments. I really like what the French are getting right now. I'd like to have some of that myself. Some of that's home cooking.
Yeah, but I mean, 4 more years. How old is Ledecky?
I don't want to guess. I'm not. I refuse.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
to guess because I don't want to be insulting.
I just know she's been good for a long time.
Yes, but my point is, I think it's very important after what these Americans have seen in France with these French athletes to get a little bit of that for themselves. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not very often that you get to have the Olympics at home. When's the last time it was held in the U.S.? Do you remember?
I want to say, no, 96.
Okay.
96 in Atlanta. I went back too far. 96.
There
That's
you go.
That's the bombing one.
Okay. So we'll see. I mean, who knows what it's going to look like in 4 years, but
we've had some winter in here, but I mean, I root for the Americans in the winter, but there's very little. there's very little things that I could stand to watch in the Winter Olympics.
Right.
Just, just not my cup of tea. If for people out there that it is, more power to you. I'm a summer guy. Some people are winter guys. Some people are both. I'm just happen to be a summer guy.
Right. No, there's nothing wrong with
Uh,
that.
and then you got the whole women's gymnastics team. You got the men's gymnastics team. You got all the swimmers, all the runners.
Yeah.
Uh,
What about the new fastest man in the world?
I lost you there. Yeah, I mean he's fast, but he's got some more races to win um, before. So I mean, I really like
Let's see,
it.
it's the 7th. So what is that? The 200-meter goes tomorrow?
Yes,
Okay.
and and that race to make him the fastest man in the world was close, Jack. I
Yeah,
mean,
I know. He was behind. He
he had to get there at the end, but he did, and that more power to him. But there's just been a lot of stuff like that. Uh, like earlier in the Olympics, rugby seven. Never watched a whatever it's called. Never watched a moment of rugby in my life. Fell in
uh-huh.
love with sevens.
So you're a
Really,
rugby guy now.
huh?
You're a
No,
rugby guy now.
rugby sevens. I know the difference between the two rugby. I think it's 14 rugby regular rugby or um, rugby with 14 as opposed to seven. I like rugby sevens that they had in the Olympics. Good. We
Is that kind of like football and 7-on-7 versus
uh,
regular American
I
football?
I'm not an expert enough to comment on that, but
Okay.
to me it would be. That's what I would compare it to.
Okay.
That's wrong or not. Here's the other thing.
Hmm.
Why in the world do we got such great basketball players, men's and women's, in this country? This has been a big hot topic on one of my favorite television shows and podcasts, the Pat McAfee Show, and I would like for us to discuss this. Why in the world do we got some of the best basketball players that aren't currently playing in the Olympics, whether whatever have you, that are not playing in our 3-on-3 games? We got destroyed. I think we did win one medal. I think we got the bronze in women's. But if you imagine like um the girl that from Iowa that did Caitlin Clark, you imagine
Yeah.
her, a couple other players that didn't get selected for the American main team. What if they were playing 3-on-3? We would have destroyed 3-on-3. Well, I mean, I don't understand all the hoops they got to jump through to make the 3-on-3 team, but we need to figure it out because we don't. In 4 years, when it comes to America, we don't need to. We need to be putting our best 3-on-3 player or our best players in basketball in the 3-on-3 game. And yes, it will be around. Yes, it's important. Yes, it's exciting. But no, we didn't do good because I don't, for whatever reason, I don't know why we don't have we don't seem to have our best
Well, maybe
available.
who do you? I mean, the 3-on-3 game's a little different. So
Okay, first,
who would you have had in it?
like from being, or I'd have had some guy named Luka Doncic, Kyrie
He's
Irving.
not American.
He has dual citizenship. You can if you as long as you're
He represents his home country.
yeah, but he can also represent America if he wants to. Okay,
No. Okay.
okay, Luca, um, I can't think. I mean, you messed me up with the Luca thing. So Kyrie and two other really good players, uh, and just whoop them. There ain't no way none of them them Euros could handle Kyrie Irving.
I mean, I don't know. Like I said, the
I
three
do.
on three game's a lot different.
I'm compared it to what I watched. If we'd had Kyrie Irving ball handling, that 3 men's team, that Spain team,
Well, I mean, they had Jimmer Fredette.
he got hurt.
Yeah, see?
He didn't make it, so he got hurt. I want more. I want more depth like Jimmer. Jimmer Fredette's good. I'm not disputing Jimmer Fredette, but if you'd had Kyrie Irving, Jimmer Fredette, and a tall guy, we'd have won gold hands down, and we didn't, and that's my issue. Hey, we got a big Ice Cube has a 3-on-3 league. Use the champions out of that. I guarantee if we use the boys, what's the name of that team? It's
I don't know.
oh, it's well, Swaggy P. I know the coach. Swaggy P. 3-on-3 squad. It's if we use the team off of that out of Ice Cube's league, there ain't no way none of them guys in the Olympics could beat us. That's that's my humble opinion. That was one of my complaints about the Olympics was the fact that we didn't have very good, very much talent and very much ball handling on the American 3-on-3. That's just
I think it's just tough to get people into the 3-on-3.
well, I don't. I really don't. I just think
And even if
the
you
way
get college kids,
they,
I mean,
the way they explained it on Pat McAfee is FIBA makes them jump through so many hoops that to get qualified for the 3-on-3 that none of them want to do it.
well, how do they qualify for 5-on-5?
Exactly. So that might be a podcast for a different day where we get fall in depth into the research. Well, how you qualify for the 5-on-5 and how you qualify for 3-on-3. The way they explained it on Pat McAfee, one is a whole lot easier to qualify for than the other.
Okay.
So that's that. Just food for thought. That could make for another good podcast down the road.
I got you. No,
Uh,
I'm
let me
fine
th-
with that. And I really think like the rookies in the WNBA that they didn't let go. Caitlin, Angela Reese. I mean, all these people. Yeah, I think they would.
Can you imagine what Caitlin Clark would have done to them poor people from the 2-point line?
Well, I mean,
God,
there's three really good rookies. Or maybe even four in the WNBA.
just saying, we could have, we should have and could have had better representation of our basketball on 303, in my opinion.
Okay.
That might be denigrating what we have, and if it is, I apologize. But I feel like America should be going for the gold, and I don't feel like we put gold seeking squads out there. That's just my opinion. I hate me.
Speaking of that, did you see what the runner Noah Lyles, the one that won the 100 meters, where he's catching a little flack because he was talking crap about like American sports, like the NBA, how we always call them world champions, and he's like, "You're not champions of the world, you're champions of America."
Yeah, I did see that. I thought it was funny too.
Yeah, and everybody was giving him a whole bunch of crap, and they were memeing it and everything like that. And then he won the 100, and everybody's like, "Well, maybe he can talk a little bit because he is,
Yeah.
quote unquote, the 100 meters makes him the fastest man in the world."
Well, I'm doing something currently, and this might be a denigration to everybody else, but and if it is, I apologize in advance for this. I'm currently watching the. It's on now. It's the replay now, but I'm currently watching the women's golf tournament in the Olympics, and I'm watching it for one golfer and one golfer only because it's the only one I know. I've never been able to get into women's golf, so therefore the only one I know is the number one Nelly Corda. So therefore it's the only one. I mean, and I think there's even an American winning it right now. Some girl named Boo, and I don't have no idea who that is.
Right.
And I mean, if you send the hate mail at whatever Charlie's address is or the bald guy's address is, because I'm just happen to be the only person I know for one reason or another is Nelly Court. So I'm watching that. We still got some more. We still got some more track to go. We did win. We did win the. We got gold in the men's skeet shooting and got bronze in the women's skeet shooting, and I think we got bronze in the mixed doubles of the skeet shooting too. So we get some medals in that. We've got some other medals. I was when I watched some kind of power walking yesterday. Power walking's power walking's an event in the Olympics now. And the way they walk is very funny looking. They walk funny. I walk too, but for a whole different reason.
They swing their arms up, or
Yeah,
what
they move their hips. I mean,
Okay.
the guys do it too. It's funky looking, but I mean it's entertaining. Because
Hey,
there's
hey,
good.
there's hope for people out there to go be an Olympic champion whenever we bring in stuff like power walking.
And wall climbing, speed wall climbing. I mean, there's a dude
I can see where that would take athletic ability.
you ought to see it because uh,
They just run right up.
he just run like a. I mean, I don't want to make no derogatory comment, but he's fast.
Okay.
So and let me think. I just want to make sure I've covered all the Olympics I've seen, watched, or going to see. Uh, Not I hadn't watched anything with horses, whether that's water polo or dressage.
Mhm.
I haven't watched any. I watched a little bit of boxing, but not much. I don't like the way they do the refereeing in the boxing in the Olympics. So they're too nitpicky. That's my opinion. Um, then not. I mean, I'm glad we're winning, doing good in fencing, but it's just not my sport.
Right. You don't know what you're watching.
Rowing, uh, canoeing. I think we did win an American gold in surfing.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were surfing in Tahiti. I would like to be surfing for the Olympics in Tahiti.
If I
Uh,
was surfing, I'm sure I'd enjoy it.
yeah, I would too. They were doing some skateboarding stuff. I mean, I used to like skateboarding when I was 14, but not now.
Right.
Um, but for all in all, from top to bottom, for the things that I watched, I've 100% enjoyed. And America is just doing great. So once again, I don't know if you got any more Olympic comments, but that's about all I got for now on that. There might be some more on the next episode, but
Yeah, well, I
uh,
mean, we'll see what the because, like I said, Lyles has a chance to win the 100 and the 200,
yeah. And
and then we've
there's
got to see what the men's basketball team does.
well, if they keep doing what they've been doing, I think there's only one spot that's feasible for them. There's only one team that
Well, but that's
scares.
what we all thought to begin with,
Yeah,
too. So, I mean,
left in the thing that scares me. Would you like to name that team? They've
are you,
already beat them.
are you thinking Canada?
No, Serbia.
Everybody else is worried about Canada. So,
Well, I'm not worried about Canada as much as I'm worried about Serbia because I watch it with my eyes. Canada's good. Serbia's better than Canada
okay.
because of one little small individual by the name.
Yeah, when he's on the floor, but when he's not,
Yeah, but I
it's
think they're figuring it out. Not taking him off the floor. They figured that out last game because he didn't go off the floor. I don't think.
okay. Just play him the whole game.
Yeah,
Well, he's going to
they,
be
they
wore out
play.
by the
They
time
play.
we play.
They play like 10 minutes shorter than a NBA game anyway. So he got to be able to play the whole game.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, and
Oh,
that's
we'll
stupid.
see.
And that stupid little ball. So that ball's smaller than our ball.
Is it? Is it like
Yeah,
college ball or what?
it's a FIBA ball. I don't know if it's college ball or not, but it's a FIBA ball. Oh, I almost forgot it. Beach volleyball. We got some
Beach
good,
volleyball.
but very little winning. We
Men's beach volleyball is your favorite sport.
huh?
Men's beach volleyball is your favorite sport.
And women's beach volleyball. I like women's better. They're
Oh,
pretty.
okay.
They do two things. They win and they look good do it. Men
Okay.
just or lose, whichever have you.
Right. All right. So how are they doing?
I don't. I mean, I think we have one team. I think we have one team left in it, but I could be behind on that, so I won't write that in stone. So,
Okay.
but
You just wanted to mention the fact that you enjoy watching it.
yes, that's all I wanted to mention. The fact
Okay.
I know that there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of success in it at this particular Olympic Games, but it's been entertaining to watch.
Okay. Uh, well,
Okay, so
what else?
uh,
What else you want to hit on? You want to touch on any
I
Ranger news? You want to?
watch this, but I watched a program on HBO last night called Hard Knocks. First episode of Hard Knocks with the Chicago Dub Bears
Wow.
and they're talking about their of course their new rookie phenom quarterback And of course they signed Keenan Allen over the season, and they matter of fact they gave somebody like 100 million, or not 100 million, but quite a few million. I think it was like around 100 million. While they were they pulled him out of practice, took him upstairs. Old Drew Rosenhaus was there. They signed ain't that dude a new deal.
Really?
Yeah, right there in front of God and everybody.
Huh.
So that was entertaining. Just
You get a
watching.
lot of you get a lot of gems out of Hard Knocks sometimes. You really do.
I, I really, even though they're about always about other teams and everything, I really like because, and one of the main reasons I like is because the guy that narrates it is just a badass.
Right.
Yeah, Liv Schreiber, talk. I mean, when your voice sounds that awesome, you're a badass.
Okay.
I, I wish I could sound like that,
Maybe
but I
with
can't.
some practice.
Yeah. Um. So I watched that, and it was it was highly entertaining, and there was lots of I guess the best way to say my recommendation is if you have HBO or access to HBO, go watch the first episode. It dropped last night, and I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And it's about the Bears.
You got a PBR update for us?
Um, yes, I do. They were in Florida last. But here's my problem. My DVR messed up on me one day. Of course, it was the final day of
Of course it
Florida.
did. Of
So
course
I
it did.
so I don't know how it ended up. I know they were in Florida, and I know Florida was doing good, but I don't know who won Florida yet. Matter of fact, tomorrow's the 8th. There's a replay show of it tomorrow. So on my next episode, I'll catch everybody up on Florida, because they're doing a replay show from Florida from last week on the 8th.
Okay.
Please forgive me for my DVR. Please forgive my DVR.
I mean, we'll let it slide this time. Just don't make it a habit.
I'll try. And we're talking, and then that's bad when the poster child for technical issues tells you not to let it happen again.
Exactly. That's
Yes.
exactly right.
Okay. So, we need to, of course. Do you do know what we mentioned a while ago? Today is the what?
Today is the 7th of August.
When's the first college football game, sir?
I don't remember. When is it?
August the 24th,
And where's it going to be at?
in a little country by the name of Ireland.
In Ireland.
And you'll have the Florida State Seminoles versus the Ramblin' Wreck of the Georgia Tech. What's their mascot? Are they Georgia Tech Bees? What are Georgia Tech mascot?
I don't think it's the bees.
I
And
thought
we
they
can
were.
go with that. It's the Georgia Tech bees. That's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, Georgia Tech and Florida State, first game of the season in Ireland. So we're imminent. We're so close to high school and college football, and even some preseason NFL. I can taste
Taste it. It's
it,
ready.
and I'm very excited about it. I expect uh, my team to do
To
very
sneak
well.
into the playoffs, I think you're probably right. I think y'all are going to ease in there and try to make a little bit of noise. So, congratulations.
Oh Lord. I told the bald guy this off the air. I'm going out and let I say my guy will be in the running for and I think he'll win the Heisman Trophy this year. And this is the guy that he keeps reminding me that I didn't like at the beginning of last year,
Well, but
but
your guy, go ahead and say who it is.
uh, Jalen Milrow. Jalen
Okay.
Milrow is going to be in my opinion, one of the odds-on favorites to win the Heisman this year. And
Uh,
one of the main reasons why Alabama I hope that Alabama and I think Alabama will be one of the top seeds in the new playoffs.
well, all they got to be is in the top six. So,
I thought they were taking top four for
oh,
the.
I just meant like top half of the seeds. If it's 12
Uh,
teams,
so we'll see. So very, very excited, very amped up about college football, about high school football. A lot of people out there in podcast land don't know. I mean, have their own high school football situations where they live. I actually root for two teams, my alma mater and in the town in which I live in now. And then I have a passing interest for another team, but they're all in three different divisions and
Yeah,
three
you don't
different.
ever have to worry about them playing each other.
Correct. They're
Okay.
if they all three won state, they all three could win state, and it would never conflict.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I root for Corsicana. That's where I mean, my wife's from there. I root for the town I live in, Athens, Texas. And then I root for where I went to school at, the vaunted Dangersville Tigers in Dangersville,
Hey,
Texas.
people are going to be searching you out and looking you up. I mean, you may have some weirdos knocking on your door, giving out your
Let me let him
and
know.
everything.
Weirdos knock on my door. I got a really big dog, and he hasn't ate in a while.
Okay. All right.
Just
So,
FYI, the people knocking on my door.
all right. Well, I
Well,
think
that's
that's
not
gonna
all.
do it for the That's not all. What do you got? What do you
I
got?
got one more small little tidbit, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
We had SummerSlam this past week. We got to talk
Oh,
about it. And we got a new Raw World Champion. Gunther is the new Raw World Champion, and
okay.
he's a big bad German heel. And then we got the same WWE champion, because the real, with a real Slim Shady, please stand up. You remember that song? Well, the
Uh-huh.
real chief finally stood up, and he knocked down this coup of this new tribal chief trying to come in and edge out on his territory, and he helped Cody Rhodes retain his WWE championship. So that was very entertaining. Um, Rhea Ripley lost her bid to get her title back, and the other title I don't remember who was fighting for that. So those are the ones I wanted to mention. And SummerSlam went off. I think they had 50 between 50 and 60,000 people there. It was highly successful, highly entertaining, and just a good event all the way around. So I wanted to make sure that I got SummerSlam mentioned in on the podcast.
All right. Well, you got it in there.
I
And
did.
so what's the next one? What's the next big wrestling event you're looking forward
The
to?
next big wrestling event. What is this? I guess
It's
I guess
August.
the next big one will be. Why'd you put me on the spot? I guess Royal Rumble. They have four big ones. They have WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, and Survivor Series. So Survivor Series will be next.
Okay.
Survivor on Thanksgiving. Excuse me.
Okay. Well, good.
Plus,
We're gonna want a little bit more info in that, and maybe you can kick out. That would be something for you to cover in your 5 minutes with the Fat Boy.
yeah, I'm gonna cover a myriad of different topics in the 5 minutes with the Fat Boy. I haven't started that yet because the particular person behind the scenes hasn't quite been behind the scenes, but we're getting there.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. So y'all be looking
If
for those.
if anything said if anything I said in this podcast offended you, then I'm doing my job. Have a good day.
All
Roll,
right. We'll talk to you
roll
guys later.
tide. Are we done?